Now it looks like we are live today. Hello, my name is ThorOfKenya, and this is going to be the officially, unofficially sanctioned Thor block. Today I have 5 bad games I was able to find between the years of 2024 and 2025. Why am I bringing up 2024 within a 2025 speedrun event? Funny you should ask. Last year I was planning to play these first 3 games for everyone. And then there's this little thing you may have seen in the news called Helene that came through. It came through literally the first day of the Big Bad Game-a-thon 2024. And it knocked out my power, it knocked out my utilities, it knocked out my internet, including cell phones for 10 days. It was not a fun time. We had to live off generators and gas and getting like chainsaws to get us even out of our roads. There was trees everywhere trying to get out. Even right now, I had an oak tree in the back of my yard that's still blown down that missed our house by just feet. We were very, very fortunate to get hit by that. But now we're here, we're ready to play some games for you and finally get these 3 games out there and shown off. I know you are seeing a black screen right now. That's because this emulator is a little weird, but we're going to start with Pink Panther for the Amiga. So we're going to unpause here, get my little timer here, and now we're going to start in 3, 2, 1, go. So, we're Pink Panther. We're broke. We need money. So, when you're in the 1980s and you need a job, what's the first thing you need to get? You know, you think of different things you see in the 80s. No, there's one exclusive thing you need to have. It's a hat. And how much those hats cost back in the 1980s? 1 currency. So, we're going to take our hat and we're going to go into Jobs ? And we're going to, I'm assuming the CEO of Jobs, not Jobs, but Jobs Inc., or however the conglomerate is. And we'll say, hey, I have a hat, give us a job. And that's all you need to get a job. And now we're playing as a butler cleaning the house. And by cleaning the house, we're robbing the person blind. So we're playing Pink Panther, it's at night, and we're trying to steal from this guy through the entire house. There's a problem. He's a sleepwalker. So for us to complete each level, we have to do 2 things. We have to grab up all the items that we can, and we have to put these different items where the owner of the house is going to transverse so they won't trip over and wake up and game over. And we're going to do this. There's a couple of things here that you have to dodge. One is that carpet. You have to put the platform down. That little record player to the right, if I pass by at any time, it'll play and wake up the person, and then it's going to be game over. So the main mechanic of this game is that you will go to the different floors, and there's two levels to each floor. There's an upper level and a bottom level, and we'll be bouncing back and forth ourselves and the actual person itself. And to use this, we're going to use a few items. The first item you can see a lot is this bell. And what it will do is that it will force the person to go to whatever level we're at and avoid hitting an option. And so it's going to take it's a hurry and wait kind of game. It's kind of like a puzzle. We're trying to get the person in certain situations and try not to wake them up. And there's also sections where you have to set them in a very long path. You grab all the items you can before you hit the wall. Second tool we're going to use here is our hands. Put our hands out, they'll do 2 things. They'll go to the other level of the floor and also turn them around. That helps and hurts sometimes when it comes to routing some of these areas. And here we're going to get to the next little turnaround spot here. And this is the same audio that's going to play throughout the entire game. You think Pink Panther, it's going to get you to the classical thing. No, it only plays on the title screen and only plays a few bars. That's it. So now we have this strange droning noise. And here I'm trying to rush, grab this before it hits the wall. And here. So the reason that I got this game for Big Bad Game-a-thon is that last year for Kuso, I think it was 8, I believe. Me and 4 runners had to play, or me and 3 other runners had to play this game, given with just the emulator and the instruction manual. The instruction manual did not help. The controllers were not correct at all. They didn't say how to use items and whatnot. We were very confused. Only one person out of our entire 4 was able to get past the first floor of it. The controls were absolutely just, they were bad. So now I'm here bringing Pink Panther to finally vindicate myself of that loss and also be able to put a speedrun together for y'all. All right, here we have another long transversal. And now I have to go kind of fast if I can catch him before he passes a stair. Yeah, to do the controls in this game, you have to not just push one button, you have to press and hold the button, and then press an arrow key. So you press and hold, press up, use an item. You press the action button and down, it'll black out the screen so you can select another item. And then you have to press the action button back up to get back out of the menu in order for you to start using the options. The controls are very wonky. When you're in a tight situation, it gets really frantic. Something that other people are noticing, and I was going to bring up here, you see the Pink Panther bottom of the corner? He's not looking too good. So we're going to go over here and we use this clock. So what that clock does is, since it's middle of the night, Pink Panther is also falling asleep. So in order for him to stay awake, you have to use that clock constantly in order to keep him awake. But the catch is, if the person is anywhere in the room, it wakes him up, game over. So it's a balancing act of trying to make sure you're staying awake, grabbing items, zigzagging him back and forth. That's the only time I'm going to use this in this run. If I do it correctly, I want to use it anymore. It'd be the only time I have to do that. The rest of the games are pretty quick with the levels. And now I'm going to employ another item. It's going to be the inflatable self. And so all it does is just that pushing motion for you. The problem with that is that placing the actual inflatable Pink Panther himself. So you think logically, okay, you just point to the direction, blow up the item, and you're good to go. Sometimes the game doesn't even let you do that. Sometimes you try to face the one direction and use it, it points them to the other direction. So the only way I can figure out to do that is to point one direction, use the little blow option. You have to do it 3 times for actually place an item. You do a direction, use it, turn the other direction, and then do it the rest right. It's very weird, but it's efficient. And now we should be getting the last item. All right, and we finished this first house. So now we're gonna go to the supermarket again because we want more money. Pink Panther, he wants to go on a vacation. So if you're to get a better job, you've only got a hat. What's the next thing you need to have? It's, pretty common. It's in some old textbooks. You'd have a gold watch. And how much would gold watch cost right now? 1 currency. Yes, a top hat costs the same as a actual gold watch, but enough. So now we're going to go to jobs ? And go to CEO of jobs, and we're going to get another job. And now this level is a little odd, as we have to basically transverse the entire first floor, so the first floor, second floor, for us to get all the items for going back up and catching the guy. There was one thing I was going to point out. If you see this flashing item on the shelf, looks like an angle, that represents the key. For me to use any of these doors as I was teleporting around, you had to get the key, like hard stop. But it's sitting right next to the entrance, so it kind of makes it a no-brainer. Well, we're acting as butlers. We're not necessarily robbing people. How we can still keep our butler job and people not assume that we robbed them blind is questionable. Then again, the plausible deniability, the person was walking around his house probably, maybe knocked some stuff around or he took them somewhere. It's all plausible deniability. If you watch the Grey's Anatomy run, you know how sleepwalking can kind of get some weird situations and totally legitimate and will hold up in court. So now I'm going to catch this person all the way at the end. And here is a little fun tidbit. So when I pull the hands out, he's supposed to go to the next plane and bounce back. But if he's in a place where the plane he can't move, he actually just bounce back, period. And that becomes very, very helpful when it comes to other levels. There's something else. So I'm not sure if there's any construction workers who does homes or homes designers and whatnot. Can you explain these layouts for me? They are odd, and I have no idea even how this house is standing. It's large, the doors go everywhere in weird places. I don't know how this, it doesn't make sense. Also, it's maybe too forced. So now, as I said, this is very much a hurry up and wait game. We have to grab an item, wait for it to get to a certain position, and then bounce it back. So as I was routing out this game, I was trying to find some kind of map for me to use. At first I was trying to do it myself, but turns out there's a person, I cannot name his online name is Sakor, I think it was. This game is also for the ZX Spectrum. So what I've done is just looked at his map, and the map for the ZX Spectrum and for the Amiga is exactly the same. So I was able to just take his map and then map out the game, and was able to get this run together. So now I need to get over here as fast as possible. That little box in the bottom left-hand corner, that's a radio, and if I touch the radio, it'll play a wake up game over. So they really want you to take almost very explicit paths to beat this game. And even though I was speedrunning it and trying to figure out the proper paths, it seems like the fastest path is also almost like developer intended, it seemed like. We've got some here. All right. Now we shouldn't have to bug him for the rest of the game. Yeah, there's a lot of zigzags, random dead ends, places that lead to nowhere. It's a very, very strange way of trying to run the game. I believe they're intending you to follow the person all the way through the game through certain intervals, but it's very, very, very long to do so. But if you just find a very, very long section, let it run back and forth, and you should be able to beat the game. And also, if you're thinking this, yes, the whatever wallpaper they have here is atrocious, and it does hurt my eyes as you look forward at it. And it doesn't get any better at all. Alright, so I should be getting to the end. Yes, the background is very bad, and like I said, it gets worse. So this last item I should be able to grab off screen, because once you leave the door, you gain control immediately. Yeah, they're good. Beat the game, and you don't even see the end exit. Alright, so third verse, same as the first. We need more money. We want a better job. So if you got the hat, you got the watch, what's the next thing? And you get all this from your local supermarket, by the way, if you didn't know that. Well, you're going to get some references. How much does the reference cost? 1 currency. Exactly 1 currency. One for a hat, one for a watch, and then one for credentials. According to the game, the credentials were fake, so it's just fake credentials you buy from the supermarket, a shady guy. Real quick, watch this run here. So, as you saw him going to the far end, the game wants you to react in less than a second time frame, or else he's going to hit that pot, game over, and then you'll have to redo the level. The game intended for that to happen, and that's pretty frustrating, honestly. One of my strats, instead of it moving you forward, and moved you backwards, so you had even less time to react. The developers in this game are strange, and I'll bring that up one more time on the last level. So here, this guy's going to stay in this one floor, and I'm just going to bounce him back and forth and do some running around. Alright, grab this item. I'm going to race up here. the manual mentions that the reason that Pete Panther is poor because of his excessive way of living, air quotes. Whatever that means, I have no clue. But nonetheless, he wants money, wants to go on a vacation, even though he's broke. But in any case. So to the right, you see that's the clock. When we pick it up, we use it to wake ourselves up. We're not even going to use that. So we're going to go here. This is either an air vent or a carpet. No clue. But we're going to put a little platform here. There are some other items that you can choose in this game to direct the person, but I found them to be almost zero useful at all. There's one that makes them like jump real high, but it doesn't clear any obstacles at all for some reason. There's two other items I'll actually get back to at the final level because it will come up then. So as a radio, I do not need to touch that. Bounce them one more time, and then we're gonna finish the level. So yeah, it almost gives me like a Lemmings feeling where you're trying to redirect, instead of multiple little guys, you have one person that's bouncing back and forth. So we're just gonna continue on his path, grab these items. So yeah, now it's just a lot of just dead time, running around, cutting corners, dodging any kind of obstacles that'll possibly go off. Fun fact with this level, all these doors, I think except for one or two, you think, okay, standard gaming logic. If you walk through a door, it goes to one area. If you walk back through the door, it'll go back to the same area. Some of these just flee you to the other side of the house, and you can't teleport back. You actually go somewhere that's even closer than where you want to go. It's a pretty bad design. One of these doors, if it did go back and forth, would actually make this level a whole lot quicker. And awesome. So now we beat the third level and we're on to the final one. So place your bets. What do you need to get a better job if you had a hat, a watch, and credentials? It also costs you one currency. And that would be a whip. So you got your car. How much it costs? Exactly one currency. I don't know how the economy is right now, but that's pretty bad if you could buy all that just for exactly one currency. Now we show, hey, we've got a car, and now we're on to the final level. Final level is interesting. It's just a bunch of zigzags. We have to do a little bit of prep work here. So we're gonna get these items, and then there's the key just sitting right in the path you were going to be taking anyways. Put down our platform. Here, make a quick zigzag. Thankfully, this wallpaper is a much more easier on the eyes. Wrong one. I did that last time in practice. So yeah, you'll be teleporting just all the way around the house in different areas. It just makes you zigzag, zigzag, zigzag. It almost seems developer intended, but it makes for a stupid long game. I mean, you could probably spend an hour or two going to this blind. So now I'm gonna grab this item here. All right, waiting for. All right, let's get here. I should meet him right there. Go back, sir. Okay. I'm a little behind time, but that should be okay. I'm gonna bounce him here. And now we're gonna get to the final obstacle of the game. Yes, that is correct. That's the reason actually I'm playing this game. I was one of the unfortunate 4 who played this in Kuso 8 last year. And so I'm here to vindicate myself. Oh, something else. I do want you to ignore any kind of paintings you might see in the background. I have no idea what they are or what they're even pertaining to. It could be that in the next few years, this developer can make some not so kid-friendly games. Anyways. So if we look at the bottom of the screen, you'll see our last obstacle, which is actually the inspector, and he is trying to arrest us. Supposedly in the game, if you take way too long, he will actually pop up and try to chase you. But this is the only one that he gets loose early for you to catch you. But how are we going to deal with them? Well, we're going to deal with the most cartoon way possible. Hopefully that time loss didn't hurt me here. We're going to go right here. Bye. Portable haul works every time. Alright, let's see if we bounce quickly here. Nope. That didn't work. I may have to use a clock at some point. Alright, I'm actually going to run to the top of this floor here and use a clock. This one gets a little tight at the end. Switch back to bell, because you can easily accidentally use an item when you start swooping around. So here we're about the last stretch. You know, I'm not sure if the textures are actually moving or not. Or, I apologize, they're the same exact backgrounds as it was in the second and third levels. It's those vertical bars, and yes, they do hurt your eyes when you look at them. So now, final stretch here, I should be getting to the end of this level. This part is a little fast for me to finish because I have to go into one more door. It can make it a little difficult. Okay, I should be fine. And spark door here. Okay. And now we're gonna go here. Should come to the final floor here. Bounce John Homeowner. Set up for the last stretch. Yeah, this game was a blast to route because it's essentially a puzzle action game for you to figure out which items you can get, which items you can't get. You actually don't collect every single item in the house. They have varying item levels. But these are the ones I found those much quicker. There's some that takes a forever time to get. And time should be coming up here soon once I grab this last item. And bye. All right, we got all the items, and we now go into our vacation. The game's soft locked now. I can't do anything right now. I'm not sure if it's up with the emulator or the game. Now we're just kind of stuck here, just hanging out in the islands. And again, the economy is probably in such shambles. The only thing he could afford was a very tiny island for him to take a vacation on. All right, so that's Panther for the Amiga. We will be going to the next game momentarily. Should be pretty quick. I do ask for one thing. If you like cereal, grab your cereal bowls. Be right back.